guys. Hello. I'm trying to figure out better lighting in here. Now I have like two circles in my life of light. And I don't know how I feel about it. Especially if I write something on the board that you can't even read because there's a big circle of light around it. Hi guys. Happy Sunday. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday. My phone just told me I went live. So there. Whoa. That's for me. That card's for me later. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday. So, oh my beloveds, that circle of light's gonna bother me. So we're just gonna kind of put me right there. All right, cool. Yeah, I haven't gotten everything behind me the way I want it, so it is what it is. Cheers to everybody. Happy Sunday. I am Courtney, the host of Stars of the Morning Light. Here we do a whole lot of, hey Miss Lori. Here we do a whole lot of talk about the Emerald Tablets by Toth the Atlantean on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I go through usually a weekly Akashic message, but we have been working on all of January. We've been working on a very long stretch of collective messages to kind of drive home the point. We've had titles, you know, of course, the underlying theme to all of it in 2023 is how to thrive in the collective love. And I will tell everybody, I just went a little bit ago to the Akashic to get the collective message for February, which will always go out to my Patreons first. Yeah, February. February. I love February. February is gonna, you know, March is very much going to be a choice month for a lot of people. March is going to be like, are you coming or are you not coming? There you go. Are you coming or are you not coming? Because it can be very easy to just get on the path to the new world. So are you coming or are you not coming? I mean, I appear to not be as empathetic or even sympathetic to people's plights. It's not that. It's not that at all. It's time. You know what I mean? So February will very much prepare people for making that choice. Today, and I also went to clarify, like, is there anything that I need to remember to put in there as we're closing it all up. We're at the finish line of the 2023 collective message as to how to make this happen. Yes, that's right, Miss Lori, you are coming. So I appreciate everybody being here. Like I said, I'm Courtney Stars, host of Stars of the Morning Light, and Miss Lori there in the comments, and a few other beautiful souls that show up here. Those, you all are such beautiful stars. Have joined on Patreon, which is good because, guys, I can only do so much here on YouTube as far as demonstrating and really teaching. I give a lot of great knowledge, but on my Patreon, hey Miss Chloe, on my Patreon is where we're going to do it together. So if anybody had listened to last Sunday's message, that went really long, which I apologize for. It was 6 in the morning, not at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. I am doing much better. I'm back in the swing of things. Thank goodness, back in the swing of things. But I was even today talking to my husband about my experiment. Because, of course, I even said in the video, like, yeah, nobody knew. I am actually a very secretive person. Some might not think that because they see me here. Hey, Miss Shelley. Because they see me here, right? No, I'm a very secretive person. Not in a bad, like, oh, she's got secrets. But I hold things, you know. Even even when I teach here, I hold things. So I was talking to him, and he was like, yeah, I don't know why you did that. Why did you do that, Courtney? Because it totally messed up our household. You going back into 3D. Totally messed up our household. He's doing better because I'm doing better. Do you see how it works? We're all connected. He's feeling much better. So, I turned to myself because I finally understood why all the Ascended Masters, and I'm not claiming myself as that right now on YouTube. I'm not doing that. But I said, I finally really understood why all the Ascended Masters went and were traveling around. I mean, it could be Christ, it could be Buddha, it could be Muhammad. It doesn't matter what faith you're. Even in the natives, there were beings that went around. Some tribes call them peacemakers. Some call them this. I mean, there's always been, right? The Vista in Hindu. I mean, it doesn't matter. They all would then start traveling around. And when I made that decision to immerse myself back into 3D, I was with the intent of knowing I gotta really feel what they feel, experience what they experience, this and that. Because we're not so much traveling around anymore, right? We're doing it this way. We're doing it on Patreon, definitely, and we're doing it here, right? I realized people, they needed to do that. Because no matter how much somebody can read, somebody can hear on YouTube or whatever podcast, or no matter how many TV shows they can watch, no matter how much they take in that way, it is ingrained in humans, as it is also ingrained to worship something that we will eventually address. It is ingrained in humans that it has to be demonstrated before them. It has to. Or they will not believe, they will not think it's possible for themselves. This is why all of them would travel around and talk and do sermons and do this and do that and do healings and all sorts of stuff, right? So that others could see that it was possible. Hello, Max. Good to see you. I am Miss Susie. Good to see you. That's why they did that. So that's why I went back to immerse myself into 3D. So I could feel what people were feeling, see what they're experiencing, know what they're going through. So then we as a collective together, as I help demonstrate that it's very possible to not live in that not niceness. I'm trying not to cuss. To not live in that, I wanted it to be just more than just words. I wanted it to be more than just words, because it needs to be demonstrated. And what's lovely is the people on Patreon, the beautiful souls on Patreon, on Stars of the Morning Light at Patreon. The link is in the About section. I do suggest joining. We slowly but surely and steadfastly are going to, all of them, are going to be stepping into 5D big time. So they can demonstrate it to others as well. That's how it works. So, today's message, we've been working on different aspects. We've been working on because we're going over, like, this is how you handle an entire year, right? Thank goodness January is pretty much done, right? I love going into February. I love when it switches into Aquarius because, me and Capricorn and I can sometimes butt heads. My sister is a Capricorn, let's just say that. Right? Capricorn and I can sometimes butt heads. That ram that just wants to... I will say this as I'm kind of waiting for more people to come in if they are. But I'll be starting here soon. I'm grabbing a card, obviously. Back when I was, like, thick into Capricorn, and there's nothing wrong about Capricorns. Capricorns are beautiful. But everybody's energies just work different with, amongst each other. And I'm a Leo. So I can be stubborn as too. I can be stubborn too. Their stubborn's a little bit different than mine. Um, when we were in the midst of a lot of the Capricorn energy, I was actually sending videos to friends of, like, in Africa, a female lion trying to get on a ram, and that ram just tossing her all around, and her standing back going, oh, this is not as easy as I think it is. Like, to the point that that ram actually scared her away, and I was like, oh yeah, that's Capricorn. That's Capricorn. Just going, yeah, you think you're big, Leo? No. I'm very stubborn with my horns. Like, that's what it does to me. That's what it does to me. So thank God Aquarius is here. Thank God Aquarius is here. Jeez. So we're having all good times here on Sunday. Stepping into February. Like I said, I did do the collective Akashic reading for February. That will be up for my patrons first. And Lucky's in the room. Good to see you, Lucky. Speaking of that, I just watched. I didn't get to finish it all because I also realized, oh, this might seep into what your message is, Courtney. So watch just enough. I watched a big portion of Robert V's channel, Milky Way Soul Tribe, last night. When this gets uploaded again, I'll probably put the link in the description. It was actually a really good show as far as getting people's minds starting to think, starting to ask questions. What is a soul and a spirit? What is this stuff? It was a really good show with Robert V, the host of Milky Way Soul Tribe. Lucky Stone 888 was there, and also Zigzagzilla. So it was a good show. I'll repost it on this because I suggest it to people. It was a good show. It was a good conversation. Different concepts being thrown out there, ideas, of course, and that's what's lovely about being human and being able to express oneself. Is we all remember, and it's going to be a part of what we talk about today, we all are living singular lives connected to the collective, and we all are. So that's why we get so many of these ancient stories that are similar but yet different. We get all this information similar but different. The way I deliver things, similar but yet different, right? I don't reference the God spark. I say flame. Similar but different, right? That's beautiful, and it's within our similarities that makes the human race wonderful. Honestly, it just makes us wonderful. So I gotta get to my notes and jump right in because I am finishing out what was the entire stuff in January, talking about going forth in 2023. Let's pick a card though real quick. My deck's being kind of interesting. Oh, my deck wants me to dig. What? What are you doing, deck? What? Oh. Okay. Wanted me to dig. I get it. Anybody that's out there, I do have people that sometimes send me emails about, like, tarot and decks and whatnot. Guys, these are tools, but they got an energy of their own. They got their own mindsets. They got their own energy. They got their own thing going on. They're a great tool for us. So you connect your energy with your cards. You connect them because they'll speak to you. I mean, that one just said, no, you got to cut it 3 times and dig. Oh, okay, cool. And you let them do their job, I get that. I get questions like that a lot. I don't do tarot readings anymore for people. Speaking of my services, I've cut out a lot of services, and my prices are going up on February 2nd. Because truthfully, I'm trying to head, I'm trying to do in 2023 and 2024 kind of a flip over into less services, more just teaching. So, all right, guys. Woo! Lots to cover. Lots to cover. We have been talking since the beginning of this. That being in the eye of the storm. You know, everybody keeps wanting to use these terms, and it's kind of fading out now. But how 2023, whoo, lots of crazy storms are going to be happening. You know, this is all metaphor, right? So I was like, okay, everybody else is saying that. I'll tack on what I need to say to that to get the point across. So we've been saying, let's be in the eye of the storm. Travel with it, right? Travel with it, but be inside, not really affected by it, not participating in it. Like how I said at the very beginning, March will be a very deciding month for people. Not to participate in it, but look, watch. Also, you can catch a lot of stuff that falls out of that storm, right? And manifesting. It's going to get tricky, though. And so my notes are kind of, I will say, a little bit jumbled because I did my own notes. And like I said, I went to the Akashic and they were like, yeah, you need to remember to hit on this. So my notes are going to be kind of back and forth. It is kind of tricky. You know, everybody talks about, you know, we talk here about getting out of 3D. So I do want to make it apparent, though. Like, I want to talk to people for a moment. You still, your mindset, your frequency, your compassion, your love, your manifesting abilities can all vastly change as you enter into 5 and really start living more in 5. That does not mean that you just completely stop anything that's associated with 3D. It's that you have changed your mindset about it. So take, for example, I used to be, my husband and I's anniversary is in March. Do you know what I used to be like? Let's go on a date for our anniversary. You know what it was? Let's go do our taxes. Because I wanted that money back. I know, it sounds crazy, right? I wanted that money. That's what it used to be for us. And to the point that the other night, my husband was like, so what taxes, blah, 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 thinking we're still, like, that's how we're going to do a date for our anniversary. And I said, babe, I haven't even looked at it yet. You know, I'll get to it. I'm sure the stuff's here. See that pile over there? I'll get to it. So it's not that I don't partake in 3D stuff. I mean, I'm going to do my taxes, sure. It's a different mindset. I do them because it doesn't mean anything to me. It is kind of, and I do reference Christ much more because it's just more readily in my head to give examples of that consciousness. It is when he said, pay Caesar what is Caesar's. It doesn't matter. Like what I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to teach you is so far above paying taxes. What does that even have to do with anything? Just do it and get it out of the way. Just do it and it doesn't matter. Focusing on these teachings, focusing on living in a different mindset, your frequency, that's what matters. Pay him pay him. What does it matter? And that's the type of thing that we'll have to start working towards. There's going to be a whole lot in 3D. Like the storms. I also got to talk about technology today. The records did say you've got to talk more about the technology. What does it matter? Right. We get, the saying is, we get our little panties in a twist, right? We get all worked up for stuff that actually really doesn't matter. When you are able to start living in a different consciousness, a different frequency. Do you do it? Yeah, because you know what? I still have a social security number, so therefore I do it. I don't even think about it. I just get it done, do it, move on. It's what I do, right? One day it won't be like that, but we are still in the 3, 4, 5 interchangeable stuff, moving like this, right? So none of it actually, that kind of stuff, guys, you still have to do. You still gotta pay that rent check. You still gotta do this. You still gotta do that. But the difference is, if you don't got money for rent, you manifest it. Difference is, I no longer think that that's a great anniversary date of like, hey, we're gonna get money back. I'd rather spend quality time with the guy, with my husband. That's the difference. You're not focused on anything that's 3D related. Do you still do it? Yeah, you get done. You just do it. Because we are still attached. Our bodies, like I said, I still have a social security number. I still have a name. I still have this. I still have that. Right? I still have stuff to do. It's okay. I'm just trying to put practical understanding of this stuff in place for people. So you go, you do it, you pay that rent check, you go do this, you go get your groceries, you go do this, you go do as 3D does. But all the while, as this word did say observer until that light knocked it out, all the while you're just observing. We're going to talk about it, the difference especially between observer and warrior. You're just observing, you're just doing it. That's why he said a whole bunch of stuff like that. Just do it. Because that is so not the point I'm trying to make here, people. Right? Stop focusing on all the stupid, little, ridiculous, at the end of the day, really doesn't mean anything, 3D stuff, and focus on how you can create. Focus on how you can manifest. Focus on why does it matter if I have to pay my taxes if I just took 2 fish and fed 5,000? Wow, your perspective is messed up. That's what he kept trying to say, right? That's what the point is. So I did need to put that in a bit into perspective, because we as humans, we get these grandiose ideas of what different conscious levels are like, different frequencies are like. Some of them are vast, and so we can have grandiose with that. Most people are definitely not there. 7 is tangible. Remember, I said 5 is still a mindset. It's the magic. It's the magic. It's the master. 7 is very tangible. It's a whole new earth. But in the meantime, do what you gotta do. Wear the world as a loose garment. I remember the first time I heard somebody tell me that. Courtney, wear the world as a loose garment. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Because I was still in my warrior stance. I was still in my warrior. You see what I'm saying? I was still in the warrior. You've got to be kidding me. Wear this as a loose garment? No. So the card we pulled is 31, magic. Ooh, 31 in reverse is 13. I love 13. Magic. The frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move toward possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestations. I'm happy this card came up because a big part of today's conversation is about belief. I was talking to Lucky Stone on the phone. Lucky Stone 888. He does a wonderful job over his channel. I was talking to him the other night. That's a beautiful card. I love all that purple, guys. You learned here at some point that purple is such a transmutation color. It is an alchemy color. It is an amazing color, right? It's an amazing color. Remember, color, music, we learn all about it in Toth. I was talking on the phone with Lucky, and I said, you know, I forgot at the end of my Emerald Tablets Revealed on Friday, because I got all heat up, I got all worked up, telling everybody you're God, because you are God. I told him I forgot to talk about belief, so we are going to talk about it today. Because I wanted to do it weeks ago, I keep forgetting, it happens, but now I have seen that kind of flow of consciousness spread across other shows. Like people trying to figure out what belief is, or is it even beneficial to us? You know what I mean? Kind of like a month or so ago, it was space. Let's all just figure out what space is. I'm usually before the curve, but I just kept forgetting to mention it. So we're going to talk about belief here. Because that's all you really need, really. Belief and wisdom. So remember, guys, the main thing, the theme of all of this is how to thrive in the collective love. And it is going to need to be from individual, singular selves, you beautiful stars, individually. We have to start asking ourselves more often, are we in love or are we in fear? Is our train of thought in the moment? Are our actions, are our words, are they in love or are they in fear? We have to start training ourselves to ask that. I will say, where I learned that concept even more so at the time in my life, because everybody talks about it. Everybody talks about it. Where I personally learned it more was actually reading Sermon on the Mount by Emmett Fox. He was a reverend in like the 20s and 30s, but he was different. He was different. That was a great book because it brought it really home to me, because everybody, like I said, everybody talks about it. Are you in fear or are you in love? For me personally, that was the resource at that time that drove the point home for me. So Emmett Fox, Sermon on the Mount. Great book. Read that in, I don't know, 2007 or something. So as we are in the eye of the storm, moving around, not really engaging, but yes, we are a part of it, right? With our eyes open, we can take the stance of an observer, which other people have also been talking about this recently. We can take the stance of an observer because we're not engaging. We're doing what we gotta do, like I just said. Yeah, I'm paying my rent. I'm doing my taxes. I'm going to the grocery store. We're doing what we gotta do, but we're living in the eye of the storm, eyes wide open as an observer, watching. This is a part of being in the neutrality of things, as I spoke about before. In that, though, our vision can start changing. In that, and this is what we're practicing now on the Patreon, in that, our vision can start changing. We start seeing individuals differently. We see them for the whole picture. Hence the compassion of 5D. We start seeing whole groups of people differently. Hence the compassion of 5D. We start experiencing living without judgment, without fear. Remember, one of these messages was be open to living life without fear. Well, how do we do that? We're in the eye of the storm, moving around, eyes wide open. As an observer, I'm not actually affected by this, but I'm watching it. I see what's happening. I'm catching the miracles and manifestations out of this storm. I'm not judging it. I actually have compassion for all humans. Because we know not what we do. We know not what we do. We forgive them, for we know not what we do, right? We forgive ourselves. There's a whole lot that can happen in like the neutral stance that leads into acceptance and forgiveness through the willingness of compassion, compassion for self and others. We get to lay down for a while as we're in the storms of 2023. Lay down a whole lot of the preconceptions we think about ourselves and preconceptions, programming as to what we should be, as what we ought to be, as to I should be here by now, as in I should, know this and be able to do this and all sorts of things. We get to lay all that down as we travel in the eye. We do. It's an expansion year. How is it an expansion year? Because as we're going through that storm, we get to say, whoa, I do the same thing. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to put that into the storm. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm just going to get rid of. And as science tells us, when the eye of the storm, as that storm gets bigger and bigger and bigger, so does the eye. So that tornado, it's going through. Economy, shortages, war, whatever it may be, right? As that's getting bigger and bigger, the hype, the talk. For some, the reality. As that's getting bigger, so does the eye. So does the eye of the storm. Your self-awareness and mastery present self, like I said, at the end of 2023, because we let go of so much, because we will experience and see with our observer, developing the compassion, trust for self, letting go of self-judgment, and that eye expanding and expanding and expanding as we walk in the eye, experiencing things so vastly different. But by the end of 2023, you will be able to just put your stake in the ground and say, I am the great I am. And once that stake is in the ground, I can guarantee you that storm will dissipate. This is all also science magic. You can think of it really like a storm. I can guarantee you that can happen. That can happen. It's your choice, right? It's your choice. Throughout that expansion in the eye of the storm, continuously ask yourself, am I in fear or am I in love? Because we are going to have moments of fear. We are going to be, we're walking around in storms. There's going to be lots of moments of fear. But we stop, we pause. This was in another video. We asked ourselves, are we in love or are we in fear? It is a choice. It is a choice. So, if we go, oh man, I've been in fear. I've actually been in fear. I've been operating in fear. I've been letting 3D control my mind. I'm in fear. That's okay. That's where the love and the compassion that is 5D. You use it on yourself first. That's okay. I have self-compassion for myself. I love myself. I understand why I was in fear. Look at all these damn storms around me. I can release that now, though, and I can choose love. And it starts with that compassion towards yourself. And then you start entering into changing your mindset with gratitude, with love, with all of it. In that observer stance, in that observer mindset, that neutral mindset, I will tell you very much so, It is a slippery slope to see yourself as a warrior. It is a very slippery slope, and 3D loves all those who talk about being warriors. It's fascinating to me that people are still wanting to represent themselves that way. Because I'm going to read it here in a minute. A warrior is a fighter. That means you're still fighting. Why? Why? I really, why? That's a horrible existence. There's no need for it. That also means that there's a lot of judgment there. That also means that you feel like you deserve something or that you have to protect something. No. I'm going to read for a moment what we read on Friday at the Emerald Tablets Revealed. This is from Tablet 12, and this is not of course, not an Emerald Tablets video. If you're new here, welcome. If you don't know, on Friday at 11 a.m., I do Emerald Tablets Revealed. You can always catch it later. It is up there. This is from the last one of yesterday. So I'm going to read just a moment. Because this also, I got to bring this up to when we go into technology. I did kind of talk about it for a minute yesterday, but I'm going to go very much more into the technology aspect of 2023. Which I do not fear at all. I'm going to put it out there right now. I do not fear any of that. Oh my goodness. No way. No way. So, this is from Tablet 12, and this is really the Key of Prophecy part. It's the second part of it. Okay, I'm going to read... I'm going to read from kind of a big portion of this page, so bear with me. Ages to come shall see revival of wisdom, and to those who shall inherit that place on this star, they shall in turn come into wisdom and learn to banish the darkness by light. Yet greater must they strive through the ages to bring unto themselves the freedom of light. Many who are bound in darkness shall strive to hold others from light. Then shall there come unto man a great warfare that shall make the earth tremble and shake in its course. Aye, then shall the dark brothers open the warfare between light and the night. When men again shall conquer the ocean, and fly in the air as wings like birds, when he has learned to harness the lightning, then shall the time of warfare begin. Great shall the battle be between the forces, great the warfare of darkness and light. Nation shall rise against nation, using the dark forces to shudder the earth. Weapons of force shall wipe out the earthmen, until half of the races of men shall be gone. Then shall come the sons of the morning, and give their etiquette to the children of men, saying, O men, cease from thy striving against thy brother. O thou can thy come to the light. Cease from thy unbelief, O my brother, and follow the path, and know ye are right. Then shall men cease from their striving, brother against brother and father against son. Then shall the ancient home of my people rise from its place neath the dark ocean waves. Then shall the age of light be unfolded, with all men seeking light of the goal. Then shall the brothers of light rule the people, banished shall the darkness of night. I, the children of men, shall progress onward and upward to the great goal. Children of light shall they become. Flame of the flame shall their souls ever be. So, why did I just read all that? Because our goal is not to war. Our goal is not to be warriors. That's actually not what humans were designed, nor is it actually when we get down to what humans really, really, truly are and can be. Children of men shall progress onward and upward to the great goal. Children of light shall they become. It's not in us to actually do that. To strive against brother, father against son. Strive to pay the bills. Strive to feed the family. Strive to be against one another. Strive to have judgment against judgment against judgment against judgment. That's not who we are. We just forgot. It's not who we are. And it's not where we're going. So why don't we just cease now? Just cease now. In the observer mode. In that neutrality state that leads to you gaining the compassion and willingness to have compassion for others. Forgive us, for we know not what we do. Because we're not separate either. We're not separate from anything. In that, we get the acceptance, the forgiveness, then the inner wisdom, the joy, the peace, the harmony, the connection of understanding, the oneness. In the observer mode, in the eye of the storm, that can, if you want it to, as you lay down all these ridiculous programming and features of thinking you have to be a warrior. Why would you need to be a warrior when you can just create like this? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you strive against your fellow man? Why would you judge your fellow man? As that eye and your eye expands past what is dictated on the TV, as your eye expands past your own understanding of your power, expands past into compassion to all, as it expands, the storms might get big, but you then put your stake in the ground, and I can guarantee you the energy from that stops it all. This is where we do get in the Emerald Tablets, and within the first tablets, when he says he got to Egypt and all the barbarians come rushing out of the caves, and he just took his staff, and with a vibration they all stopped in their tracks. Same concept. You do it in your life first. In your life first. And what's interesting, as those beloved sons of the morning, shiny ones, children of light, are telling the world, cease from thy striving against thy brother. The last few lines, cease from thy unbelief, O my brother, and follow the path, and know ye are right. I really want to point out, not just the cease from the unbelief, because we're talking about that. They said, oh my brother, the shiny ones, the children of the morning, the sons of the morning, the children of light, all of them. They say, cease with your unbelief. Oh, my brother. They're not disconnected from us. They're not separate. They are our brethren. If they call us brother, then we call them brother. And follow the path, and know ye are right. The confusion often becomes as to why we think we need to be warriors is because we think we need to fight to get there. They literally just said, follow the path. You just step forward. Follow the path. It's a path. It's not a war zone. It's a damn path. You just walk. You just walk in what you know is right. You walk in your light. Because your light is not separate from the shiny ones. Oh, my brother. Right? It's a conscious choice. Am I in fear or am I in love? All of this is just conscious choices. And I love the fact that the eye can then start expanding so you can feel more of your great majesty. As we also learn here a lot that humans are ultimate. I'm hitting a lot of the aspects. So I'm going to talk about belief. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about vulnerability. And then I'm going to talk about the technology. And this is me trying to sum up all of January's messages, right? I don't know. Oftentimes there can just be a spirit of consciousness, a flow of energy consciousness that just starts taking over. Flows through, the planting seeds, that's the point, right? That just kind of starts flowing through people. And very recently, it's been a whole lot about belief. I don't know if it's, I'm being sincere here, I don't know if it's people are trying to figure out what to believe in, or is belief even, what's the point of having belief? I'm not really sure what the thing is. So I'm going to express to you what I do know. Because we do a lot of science magic here, let's go back to our card for a moment. Number 31, magic. The frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move toward possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. As you can see, as you can imagine, you creation, you beings of creation, all that is required is our belief in their manifestations. And there's the card again for those who came in a bit late. That is some beautiful, beautiful purple sacred geometry right there. Magic. We do a lot of talk about science magic here. Alchemy, transmutation, science magic. That is exactly what is needed. All that is required is our belief in our manifestation. So, I personally, this is Courtney speaking for myself, of course, I personally, I think sometimes people get a bit confused, as in, because I call myself a god, I call you all gods, because you are. I do mean, stories about the Greek gods, and all sorts of, Roman gods, and Norse gods, and all, yeah, we are them, they are us, we're no bigger or smaller than them. There's nothing, there's no separation. Do I believe in a grand source, first thought, all creation, the collective, all sorts of stuff like that? I do. I mean, I do believe in the divine masculine, divine feminine, the perfect union and great spirit. I do believe that stuff, right? I do believe that. But I do not separate myself from anything. I do not separate where that I believe where my flame came from? See? Yes, I do. But because I have a flame, I don't consider myself completely separated. I'm an aspect of. I'm a beautiful flame within, right? But for me personally, when so many ascended masters, and it didn't matter which one we're talking about here, when so many ascended masters, when tons of the writings, when tons of the stories talk about belief, for me, I generally like to start with a belief of some kind of higher power and then a belief within myself that I have that power too. It's kind of the same, okay? So let me step back for a moment. I'm a Reiki master teacher. It is taught in Reiki, so everybody knows this. It is taught in Reiki that all we're doing is opening ourselves up to be a vessel for the cosmic light, right? The cosmic love, that kind of thing, right? I'm not doing the healing. Who is doing the healing? The person on the table. It is up to that individual. They're actually the ones healing themselves. I'm just presenting an opportunity for them to think that they are, even if they're not aware of it. Same goes with everything else. Take Christ, as I said, I use him as a reference a lot because it's just easier for me to get that out of my head. Guys, every single time that guy walked around healing people, I'm all like that guy. Every time that guy walked around healing people, right? What did he ask them? Do you believe? Do you believe? And all he was doing was saying, hey, do you believe? Maybe I'll touch you. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll tell you to stand the hell up. To the point that we know, those who know more stories and references of biblical, of the New Testament, the woman with the issue of blood that he didn't even speak to, but she believed so much that all she did was touch his garment and she was healed. It has absolutely nothing to do with him. He wasn't doing anything magical, profound. He was when he was manifesting and showing people how, yeah, you just take two fish and you multiply it. That he was. When Buddha would, jump stream, be on one side and now the next. Yeah, he was showing people, yeah, time and space ain't a thing. Just go and cross the river. That kind of stuff, those demonstrations, very much so they were trying to show people, yeah, this is a matrix. You just do what you need to do. It's very easy. We're not going to get into that right now. But with all of healing, all of that stuff, he knew it wasn't him. He was trying to even tell people, it's not me. It's not me doing it. It's them. It's their faith, their belief in I am healed, their belief in I am well, their belief in I'm alive, their belief in I am healthy, their belief in I am wealthy, their belief in I am powerful. It is their belief. They just needed to attach it to something visible. Because I very much, like at the very beginning of this video, I've come to understand people can hear a lot of things, people can read a lot of stories. Until just a common old person walking around demonstrates that it is possible, do people believe it for themselves? I'm here to tell you, it's very possible. All of it. And this is why, hopefully, for the majority, especially here at Stars of the Morning Light, by the end of 2023, you will have released enough, been expanding your eye of the storm vision, that you will understand when you say, I am, it is done. It is finished. Because it's belief in your own power. Because there is no separation. You are light. You are a son of the morning. You are a children of the light. There is no separation, oh my brother. That is belief. So let's read magic one more time. I'm happy this card decided to make me dig for it in the deck. We will probably be talking about this definitely repeatedly, but it had to be in this message right now. Because I don't know why belief is on the table of questioning. I'm not really sure. I think, a lot of consciousness could be going really good and going well, flowing through the collective, and then all of a sudden it gets infiltrated and it starts saying, belief, blah, we don't want you to have that, blah. Because our self-belief is very great, is the great I am that lives within you. You are the great I am. There is no separation. So, the frequency of magic. Here we go, guys. How do we make magic happen? Here we go. The frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability, your birthright as a beautiful star being, your birthright, to grow and expand beyond this moment, beyond what 3D's telling you. To move toward possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. How do you think we're going to create the new earth? Just more people have to believe. All that is required for magic is our belief in their manifestations. All those grand possibilities, which I will tell you are always present. Always present. That's really just what the Akashic is. Always present. All infinite possibilities. Because nothing is written in stone. Everybody's just got to jump more on board as a collective, understanding their magic. All of them. Expressions. That can be tangible, that can be inner, that can be all of it. Expression, that term, I wish I had a dictionary in front of me, is all. All that is required is our belief in their manifestations. That's how you manifest. You just believe. Easy. But apparently not. Apparently not. That's why Christ did say, geez, you don't even have faith of a mustard seed. That's why we live in the crap we live in. It's not faith in him. It's not faith in Source. Why would Source need you to have faith in it? You, as the grand, beautiful God you are, have to have faith in yourself. And then the more individuals, singular individual expressions and possibilities come together, then we create. Then we create more walking out of 3D into more 5 and 7. That's all it takes, really. That's really all it takes. It is belief. So do I still give reverence to Source? Yeah, because that's the ultimate. As I am the ultimate, as I learned in Thoth. Humans are ultimate. Do I give reverence and thanks? Yeah, because am I fully there, completely connected, pure light? No. So I give reverence because, yeah, do you know more than me? Yeah, cool. Thank you. Thank you for helping me. Thank you in those moments of fear that gives me the ability to go to love, get on the path. Yeah, I give reverence. But I really, for the most part, I know my power. And I believe in myself. And I believe that all it takes is me imagining and believing in that in that creation of my imagination for it to manifest. Because we're ultimate. There is no separation. Right? Completely ultimate. I do appreciate everybody being here. I'm going to talk a bit. Let's talk about, I think I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to talk about the technology and then I'm going to end it with the vulnerability. Because remember, be open, be known is also a part of, kind of finishing this all up. Technology in 2023, yeah. Is it going to become a bit more advanced? Yeah. I'm going to talk about my personal stuff here for a moment. It was at least like 2 years ago. Yeah, because it wasn't this last Christmas. It was the Christmas before. Headed into Christmas, right? I had already noticed that my little smartphone, it wasn't just listening to my conversations. It wasn't just, creating algorithms for me. It wasn't just doing that. It actually could hear my thoughts. Yeah, I'm putting it out here on YouTube. Yeah, I caught it 2 years ago. I've been watching it and seeing what happens and seeing. I've been doing another experiment, guys. Man, Courtney is just full of experiments in life that I don't share. So 2 Christmases ago, probably like October-ish, right? In my head, in my thoughts, in my consciousness, never wrote it down, never shared it. I was doing my Christmas lists for people because I don't necessarily write it down because I don't want it to be accidentally seen. I also don't share it because I don't know if I'm going to end up being able to do that at the end of the day. I don't know. I might change it up. But, we all kind of start, especially women, as we're trying to, take care of everything. And, so-and-so is going to need this, right? I started in my head, just going through, well, maybe I'll get them this for this year. Okay, I know so-and-so is definitely going to need this. That's a definite. What would you like, Courtney? Is there something you'd like for Christmas, right? Thoughts. That's it. Never spoke it, never wrote it down. Within days, actually probably the next day, because then I kept trying it, checking it out. My smartphone started showing me ads for the stuff that I was thinking about getting in my mind. It had already started. So 2 Christmases ago, I realized, whoa. To the point that when it first started happening, I actually double checked that I didn't write anything down. I double checked I never had that kind of conversation. You know what I'm saying? Well, then I started experimenting. Hey, let's experiment. How connected are you, smartphone, to my brain? My brain, not my words, not any writing, not anything. And also not speaking it to others, right? Just nothing. My brain. How connected are you, smartphone? I can tell you. I can tell you. Our smartphones, everybody's worried about, oh, they're listening. Oh, guys, that was so back in the day. I will also tell you, I live in an area, because I moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee, in late 2015. In 2016, 5G got rolled out here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I don't really have it where I live now in Georgia, but I'm still close enough, right? It's still present. Everybody's also paranoid about 5G. Chattanooga, Tennessee, if people didn't know, got renamed Gig City because it was the first place in the entire planet. I guess Japan was pissed about this. It was the first place in the entire planet that rolled out 5G. I mean, we got all the gigs. We've had the gigs for a very long time. It's been 2016. Everybody's paranoid about it. And everybody out there, because I keep talking about it, I'm like, whoa, hasn't happened yet? You know, because I've been living with it forever. Our smartphones, they're also hearing this. They're also in our brains. Which is, I think, probably an element of 5G, right? I'm still not scared. I'm still not scared. I'm sure everybody right now is like kind of paused in their seats because yeah, I tried it out for many a year to the point that it wasn't just like Christmas lists. I purposely would spend time just thinking about like really obscure things, like very obscure things that I would never own, things that I would never purchase, things that I would never even be involved with, whatever. Very weird, obscure things, right? I would force myself to picture and think about in my mind to purposely see if it would pop up on my phone. And it did. Every time. Every time, guys. So, it's gonna happen. People are freaking out, though, about all sorts of technology that's going to present itself in 2023. That's the observer versus warrior. Because I'm going to tell you, you child of light, you beautiful star. Once again, let's go back to what was said. I, the children of men, shall progress onward and upward to the great goal. Children of light shall they become. Children of men shall become children of light. Flame of the flame shall their souls ever be. And it does in other shows, as I just went through this, it talks about how we will get to space, how we will do this, how we will do that. But we have to become children of light first. So why the hell would I worry about this primitive technology of now that is not being created by children of light? If I am a child of light, and I know I am, and I'm working on my stance because I am the great I am, there is no separation. Why would I worry about primitive technology? I would rather use it as a great tool. Instead of trying to fight it like a warrior, which is just going to get me confused and jumbled and probably bruised up, why don't I see it as an observer first, figure out all the ins and outs, because there's going to be a lot of ins and outs, see it as an observer, be neutral, because it's not going to do anything to me. I'm a child of light, that the grand technology is in me. Why would I worry about that? I can, though, use it as a great tool. I can, if it is starting to be connected to our brains without us knowing, I can start thinking about great, beautiful, wonderful stuff. I can start, instead of focusing on negative, focusing on the collapse, focusing on war, focusing on this, all of it. And even in my own brain, I've already talked about, there's no need to engage and talk about it, but in my own brain, if I can start envisioning the new earth, envisioning clean water, envisioning plenty of food, envisioning this and that, right? And this little device is attached to that. Well, if it wants to beam back at me, yeah, this is what we know you're thinking about. There's a whole lot of other people that are attached to each other's feeds. There's a whole lot of other stuff that is all connected. We can use it as a tool because we have full control over our consciousness, not it. Not it, ever. And people get very worried about that. Very, very worried about it. And it's because we see the world that is still living in the programming. A whole lot of that's going to be dissolved as these storms roll about. And then everybody's going to get paranoid that, oh man, the world has the grand awakening and they're getting rid of all the programming, but what's it going to matter because the technology is going to take over anyways? No, it won't. It can't. And even on the onset that it does, you are bigger, better, stronger, more powerful. You use the technology as the tool that it's supposed to be. It is tools. Tools, just like how I said my deck of cards are tools. Technology is a tool. It always will be. Always will be. Even when we do become children of light, we become them. And we use the technology to move around space and do what we need to do. Because we are gods, right? And just cycling through. Even when we do that, the technology is still just a tool connected to our consciousness, so we are still deciding what it does. Period. We're just deciding what it does. Same with all energy is neutral. All energy is neutral. We are deciding what it does. We are giving it its identifying marker. So please know, folks, there will be technology people are fully, completely, horribly against. There will be some technology that people go, actually that might make the world cleaner and better. There's going to be a lot of rollout with technology. Do not ever, 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 please, and this might be me preaching on my high horse here, do as you choose, because it's all choice, but I'm striving to say, not brother against brother striving, but as a collective, loving, thriving awareness, it will always be a tool. Always. And it is you as an individual who gets to make the choice if you are controlled by it or if you are not. Period. Period. And I know, I'm sure there's a lot of things like, oh man, but they start putting chips in us and blah, blah, blah. Who cares about chips and money when there's probably no such thing? That's why so many videos I've been doing since the summer is talking about bartering. Talking about how to come together as a collective. It starts with community. It starts with I, your individual self, your we, I, we. The we is your little family unit, your tribe, your friends, we, and out to the one is represented as community in 2023. So let's go from technology into, all right, Court, that sounds all good. That sounds great. How do you put this all together? Through this, I have slowly kind of introduced concepts of being vulnerable. Very hard, especially for the warriors. Very hard. Vulnerable, though. In this concept, in all that we've been talking about in all of January, vulnerable. It does not leave you in a position of weakness. It leaves you in a position of thriving. It leaves you in the position to say, hey, I don't have X, Y, and Z. Can we do some exchanging here? You've got this, I've got that, let's communicate. It leaves you in the position of learning and understanding and with compassion of 5D what goes on with your fellow man and yourself, because we are reflections of. There is no separation. It leaves you to understand I am connected to all of this. That computer, that technology might try to do X, Y, and Z. My vulnerability is then I will start thinking and speaking of the things I really do need, of the things that people need. Because if that technology is a tool helping me spread the message, well, then I'm going to use it. I had a conversation actually just this morning. Of people looking each other in the eye. You know, everybody likes to say the eyes are the window to the soul. Yeah, for some reason we all stopped looking each other in the eye. Looking someone in the eye to either be direct or in a vulnerable stance brings the humanity back. It is humanity taking care of humanity, not individuals striving brother against brother. Cease striving against brother. Just cease. Look that brother in the eye and go, yeah, I know, man. Because as I said at the beginning, it's our similarities that will bring all of this into harmony, not our differences. We've learned, and honestly, guys, I can't remember if this was on Patreon or if this was here. But we learned with fear, somewhere, I'm hoping here, but if not, you're going to learn now. With fear can also create a whole lot of, what was the term I used? Solidarity. Fear can create a whole lot of solidarity. Anger, warrior, all of that. Damn the man. Which, what man? I mean, listen to those words. I mean, that's what I grew up saying. I thrived in the 90s, right? Damn the man. Cease striving brother against brother. Cease striving there. All of that can create solidarity. It can create, yeah, I'm with you, man. Get them. I'm with them. We're going to take them down. Who are you taking down? Who are we taking down? Who are we not lifting up? Who are we not lifting up? And I can guarantee you, we cease striving brother against brother. We cease destroying things. Oh man, cease from striving against thy brother. Only thou can thy come to the light. Only then can you come to the light. We cease striving against our brother, and only then can you really start being of the light. And you know what often happens? Is if you are presented with your brother and you actually look that other human in the eye. I know there's that old saying of war, don't shoot until you see the whites of their eyes. That's so sad. That's so sad. That brother against brother had to be that close, and they were not able to stop. We can cease, but it takes us in our own life to be that vulnerable to someone. I'm going to look you in the eye and tell you what's been going on. I'm going to look you in the eye and tell you, I don't have, but I do have over here. What can we work out? I'm going to look you in the eye and tell you, All is forgiven. I'm going to look you in the eye because you are a fellow human. It starts with the individual self. It really does. And it's very vulnerable to do something like that. It is. You all know I was actually a teacher at one point, an English teacher. None of those kids, and I taught high school, none of those kids were able to look me in the eye. And it's not like I was judging. I mean, none of them were just able. And then I started noticing they weren't looking each other in the eye either. Like we say, if the eye is the window to the soul, and we're trying to be in the eye of the storm, with eyes wide open, observer neutrality, then also look your fellow man in the eye. There's actually strength in your vulnerability there. Much strength in the vulnerability of saying, hey, I might need some help, but I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to work some stuff out here. Humanity taking care of humanity. Hey, I'm looking at you straight in the eye. This is who I am. Bare bones. Bare bones. This is who I am. Do I have it all figured out? No. But if what I say helps you, great. If what you say to me helps me, thank you. We are not alone, but yet we have been programmed for many generations now for it to be take care of me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I. And we all stopped looking at each other in the eye. It is very heartbreaking. So, that's going to come up here and there. I'm going to have to return back to vulnerability a little bit in March. But, guys, this is all for the I We One. This is all because humanity takes care of humanity. We just forgot that we're a part of it. We just forgot that we can stop striving against our brother. Because we're all brothers. And remember that. Remember, I did say at one point in these that one of the greatest things that came for me out of 2020, as far as watching, what was going on with the world. Observer, because I was already well into observer mode at that time. So to the point that I didn't even know that stuff was coming. Like, wow. Okay. One of the greatest things I learned about or saw happening amongst people, humanity, was we got to remember that we are all connected. No matter if there's a big pond between us or not, no matter if you're on an island or not, humanity is connected. Period. We are connected to all of the cosmic, all of the grand source, all of great spirit, all of the land. We are connected. We are connected individually, and we're to the human race. We're connected to all things. That was lovely that could be reintroduced to the the minds of humans, that we are actually all very connected. But also, because a lot of it all went to digital, Zoom, and work meetings, talking to people, this and that, what have you, we also got to see into other people's lives. The stuff that people would not normally share. Like I said before on this program, yeah, there's a big pile of laundry I haven't folded right behind me yet. Yeah, my kids are screaming because they're 3-year-olds. Yeah, you're seeing my house a mess. You're seeing me not really, you're lucky I brushed my teeth for some reason that you're not smelling my breath. We all got to see that we're all just human. Some look a little bit different. Some operate a little bit different. Some, do fold their laundry different than others. Some don't fold their laundry at all. Whatever. We're all just human. That was such a blessing out of 2020 that we could remember we're all connected and we could remember we're all just human. Now, let's take it up a notch and bring it back to not so much through a screen, but individual, connected, human on human, humans around humans, talking, conversing, using their skills, talents, and gifts to help one another, while looking each other in the eye. Always, always, always. And this will always be how you can see if somebody, what they need, if they're on your team. It's a great tool. So we'll be talking about it again, but you gotta be a little bit vulnerable. Gotta be a little vulnerable. And I love that we had already practiced doing it. I love that. We already practiced. So, as this has gone quite long, Joe, I saw you come in. Hi, honey. Brandon, I think I saw you come in too. Thank you for watching. The eye we won, guys. Be in the eye of the storm. Do not have to engage. Be the observer. Allow manifestations that you imagine come to you because you are great. Believe in your power. Believe in your power. Humans are the ultimate. You can start trusting yourself within that power. You know what? Actually, I'm going to leave you with this. And don't worry about the technology. So still primitive. Use it as a tool as it comes. Seriously, use it as a tool as it comes, because it's still, no matter what time in any cycle or what time in anything you wanna think of technology as, it's a tool every single time. So it's still a tool. You're not a tool. You're a beautiful being of light. You're not a tool. Anyways, I'm gonna leave this actually with today. I know I just said a lot of, look each other, in the eyes. Look each other in the eyes. Maybe we should all start looking at ourselves in the eyes in our own mirror. I don't know how many people have stopped doing that. I remember I had stopped for a long time. This was a long time ago. And when I first had to look at myself in the mirror, eyes to eyes, I see you, Courtney. I remember the first time I had to keep doing that over and over and over again. Tears would come. Tears would come. But how do I understand and love and appreciate and own my power if I can't even look at my own self in the eyes? So maybe that's where we gotta start. I love you all dearly. Friday, so everybody knows, I'm going to be doing a little bit of story time for Emerald Tablets revealed at 11 a.m. Because the next tablet that we are going to be starting is the Key to Life and Death, which might be a little bit tricky. Please do know, guys, we are not out of the woods yet of that subject. We are not out of the woods so much. So I'm going to take a moment and just do story time on Friday and talk about all of the galactic key players and the war and all sorts of stuff galactic-wise, to really kind of bring a history to Toth as to what was happening, what happened, post all of it, right? Why we live in this 3D jungle, right? So, join me for that Friday at 11 a.m. If you can't, cool, man. you can catch it on the flip side. I don't care. So I love you all. Consider joining Patreon if you like what you hear. Here you can join Patreon. I teach there twice a month, much more in-depth teaching. $5 or $8. The link is in the About section. Also, if you want to donate, I would appreciate it. I believe my PayPal is in there. So, cheers to you all, you beautiful beings of light. Of light, that is your goal. Don't worry about the technology. Psh, squash it. It's just a tool anyways. I love you guys.